Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to go over the 3 important considerations that I think everybody should take in order to supplement wisely. And as I was preparing for this video, I was reminded of a patient who I saw about 6 years ago. Now, when I opened my functional medicine practice in Chattanooga, Tennessee, I didn't know a soul. So I opened up my free blocks of time for anyone who wanted to come in and just visit, hoping that at a later date they'd become a patient. And a woman came in with a myriad number of complaints. I mean, she had foggy thinking, fatigue, aches and pains. She just was really quite off. And in the course of our conversation, I asked her, what have you been doing? And she said, well, I've been taking supplements and I think they're supposed to be helping. And I said, what supplements have you been taking? And she literally produced a shopping bag filled with different bottles. I mean, she had some 15 to 25 different supplements, and each of these supplements had between 10 and 15 different ingredients, often proprietary, which means that we really don't know how much is in the supplement. And I said, how did you start taking all these different supplements? And she said, well, my girlfriend recommended that I take these, and my chiropractor recommended that I take these. And I saw an ad for these on a Facebook group, and in the end, there was no rhyme or reason to why she was supplementing. So what I told her to do was to stop taking her supplements for a month. A couple things happened. The first is that she instantly saved about $700. But I never saw her back in my office as a patient. Instead, I received a letter in the mail about 6 weeks later. What had happened is that the vast majority of her complaints had just gone away. And she'd really focused her supplementation and was only using at this time vitamin D because she was known to be low in this important vitamin. So on the other hand, we know that there are some supplements that can be flat out injurious or dangerous to our body. Probably in 2005, the Food and Drug Administration insisted that all supplement manufacturers take a herbal compound known as ephedra from their supplements, because what was happening is that people were basically jacking up their heart rate and blood pressure and suffering heart attacks and strokes from the supplement. In a more contemporary perspective, I had another patient who suffered a condition known as a peripheral neuropathy from B6 toxicity. And what had happened is that she'd been supplementing similar to the first patient that I used in the introduction of this video. But what happened is that when she added up all the different components that were present in all of her different supplements, she was taking a toxic level of B6 that actually caused her to have numbness in her hands and her toes that for 6 months persisted. My name is Scott Resnick, and I'm making these videos because I want to give you the tools, the tips, and the techniques that I've used in my patients in my functional medicine practice for over the last decade. I think that equipped with the right tools, you can make the changes to really turn around your life. You may recall that in 2015, the New York State Attorney General issued a cease and desist order for the selling of supplements by some pretty big stores. I mean, I'm talking CVS, Walgreens, and Target. It turned out when they did audits of their herbal supplements, notably ginkgo biloba, that 3 out of 4 of the supplements sold contained no genetic material for this herb. In fact, they found that there were any number of different fillers that were used to include a common houseplant known as Dracaena. And when I had my practice back in Chattanooga, I had a big, beautiful Dracaena plant sitting in one of my windows. So I want to give you 3 tips to really optimize your supplementation. The first is to utilize a supplement company that follows these 3 practices. The first is find out if they are good manufacturing practice certified, or even better, double GMP certified. You can learn this on their website and oftentimes from the package inserts. The next thing you want to ensure is that the companies use products that are sourced directly. A good supplement company is very meticulous about what products are put into their supplements and require certificates of authenticity for everything that goes into one of their capsules or tablets. And the last thing that I recommend that you do is to use a supplement that has been sent for third-party auditing. So a good company like Metagenics or Thorne takes their products, sends them out to a third-party auditor and says, you tell us what's in this product. Naturally, with these better companies, what the third-party auditor notes is what is stated on the label. The next thing that I want to recommend that you do is to get your information from a qualified practitioner. Now, I'm a medical doctor with 28 years of experience, fellowship training in functional medicine, and greater than 10 years of working with patients in a functional perspective. Obviously, I have a much different understanding of the way that these nutrients and herbs interact with the body than someone with less training. My bias is that you choose a provider who is either a medical doctor, an osteopathic doctor, or a well-trained naturopath. Each of these specialties really gives us the background and training to understand how all these nutrients, herbs, minerals, and all these components work together to influence different parts of our biology. The last thing that I want to recommend is that you take a critical look at the supplements that you're currently taking. Recall, I did have a patient who became B6 toxic by just the sum totals of all the additional B6 in a number of different supplements. So there are two things I want to say here. The first thing that is, in my medical practice, if I had a patient who was on more than 5 or 7 supplements, I felt that I wasn't doing my job. So if you find yourself taking or being recommended to take some 10 or 12 different supplements, I would approach that with a little bit of caution. Because in my practice, I felt that I could be more directed about my supplement use and to really use these with precision. The other thing that I want you to do is take a moment to add up all the different components of the different herbs and minerals that are present and vitamins that are present in your supplement. So take a moment to look at how much is your B12 you're getting total on a day, how much B6, how much magnesium, how much zinc, how much chromium. Because we can have some very real consequences of becoming toxic on some of these apparently innocuous substances. To recap, find a good provider who's going to make some good recommendations and think about how many supplements are being recommended to you. If you're having 10 different supplements recommended to you, you're spending too much time, too much money, and probably not getting a directed focus on what you should be using. Find a company that operates with good manufacturing practices, sources its raw materials, and does third-party audits. And lastly, if you are taking a number of supplements, just take a moment to look and see what the sum total of all the different components are of these supplements. You might be surprised. Of course, this is YouTube, so I'm almost obligated to ask you to comment, like, subscribe. I'll be sure to respond to all of your comments personally. And if you want to know more about one of my most favorite supplements, which is magnesium, I'd recommend that you click on this video at the end of the video you're watching now, and I think I'm pointing to the right side. Either way, I will see you next week in an upcoming video. Be well.